Howdy YouTubers, it's me, Dolly Wolf. I guess I felt like I didn't make enough videos this week, so I'm trying to cram them all into one day. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I've been mildly fascinated with for probably the last 10 years, but really in the last year have gotten very fascinated with, and that is the Mayan calendar and the fact that it ends at the year 2012. It's not necessarily that they believe that it was the end of the world per se, but they thought of it as the end of an age, okay? And what fascinates me about this is, you know, I think I've mentioned to you guys before Michael Cremo, who wrote this book called Forbidden Archaeology, and he also wrote a book called The Hidden History of the Human Race. He believes that humanity is much, much, much older. Now, why would you need a calendar to go back 500,000 years unless the race that made the calendar was that old? You know what I'm saying? Well, you put those things together, you know, you put the really old Earth theory or the really old human race history theory together with the Mayan calendar, and it's like, okay, that kind of is interesting. And then you throw in the Babylonian Empire. I believe it was the Babylonians, I can check on that. They had a calendar that also ends at the year 2012. And for the same reason, as the end of an age, not the end of the human race or the end of the world, but just the end of an age. You know, and Michael Cremo in his books talks about how humanity reaches a certain technology level and a certain civilization height, and then all of a sudden, boom, something happens and the human race is taken back almost to the brink of extinction, but not quite. Okay, it's really taken back from high technology to hunter-gatherer, and that this has happened several times over the course of time. Okay, now the Babylonians believe that our planet and that us, the human race, that we are kind of a hybrid species of the pre-human types of beings that were here, you know, like the Neanderthals, Homo erectus people, okay? That we're a hybrid between them and an alien race called, I think it's called the Akitans. I'd have to look that up again as well. But anyways, the Akitans lived on this planet in a mini solar system called Nibiru that travels around our sun. It's basically our sun's binary twin. That didn't fully develop. The solar system has a brown star in its center, and it actually every 3,600 years comes into the inner solar system, you know, between, I think it's Venus and here on Earth. And every time this happens, it causes big, bad, cataclysmic events to happen. You know, volcanoes, earthquakes, really crazy weather, and it takes humanity back to the point of extinction. And every time the planet comes close to us, or the little solar system with the star and the planet and the planet's moon, the beings that live on the planet come to our planet. And, you know, they are, according to the Babylonians, the Nephilim, or however you say that, from the Bible, you know, from Genesis, where they talk about the sons of God that mated with the daughters of men and had children by them, and that they were the heroes of old. That this passage is actually speaking about the same thing that the Babylonians were speaking about when they were talking about the Akkadians. So the Akkadians, at one point in history, according to the Babylonians, bred with the I guess that would be Homo erectus people, and Homo sapien is the hybrid. And we were bred actually by one faction of the Akkadians that wanted to use us as slaves, because they needed our resources off this planet, so that 100 years later, when the planet came around again, the Akkadians could come and pick up their supplies. But what ended up happening was humanity revolted and basically took its planet back, and the Akkadians had to go into hiding. Which brings us to our next weird thing, which is the hollow earth theory. Because what some people believe happened to these Akkadians was they went inside of the earth. I don't know how many of you have heard of the hollow earth theory. I only heard of this recently. Never even thought, well, maybe our earth is hollow, and at the center of our earth there's a tiny, tiny brown star and that there's a civilization of beings that live inside of our earth. Well, maybe. Who knows? There's lots of information on YouTube. If you just look for hollow earth, you'll find tons of stuff on it. It just blew me away. I'm like, why have I never heard of this? Well, anyways, to wrap this up, because this is getting to be kind of long, the next time this planet and this Nibiru is supposed to come around again, you guessed it, 2012. So who knows? 2012 is just seeming more and more like it's going to be a significant year in our lives. So I want to be a survivor.